Hello there, mums, and welcome to today's Happy Hip Yoga. So it's best if you have a couple of blocks for this one because it'll just help you get into some of the positions. Alrighty, so we are gonna start off in our 90 folds. So let's just take our legs out into a 90. So if you've got a yoga mat, you want ideally your ankle and shin lining up with the yoga mat, and then same for the other side. Okay, so from there, we're just going to try and bring our hands behind us to begin with, all the way over, and then you're just gonna try and kiss the floor. Beautiful stuff. Walk it back forwards, and then we're gonna go to shin, try and kiss the floor. Beautiful. Walk it back behind you as much as you possibly can so you get a nice big twist. And then back, and then forwards, kiss the floor. Beautiful stuff. Swap your 90s, so nice little rotation. We're going to twist as much as we can behind us, kiss the floor, back up, and then in line with the shin. And then kiss the floor behind you, twisting, and then back up with the shin. Beautiful. Okay. From there, we're going to go into the butterfly position. So you can have your blocks. A couple options. You can have knees under the blocks to feel more supported, or you can sit on the block if that feels just that little bit easier to get into the position, whatever feels good for you. We're going to spend a couple of seconds here. Or if you're very flexible, you can stack blocks and have your feet on top and allow the knees to just extend further down like this. Yeah, feeling really nice and tall. Good. And then from there, so we're in our butterfly position. And then from there, we're going to take our right leg out. So I'm going to take our right leg out, and we're going to just roll the ankle. So doing a nice few rolls where you flex and point the toe, and then you're going to roll the ankle in the opposite direction. So inwards. Good. Nice. And then from there, we're going to bend over. So what you can do is angle your tricep and shoulder towards the floor. It doesn't matter if it doesn't go there. We're going to first think about lifting up and then over. And then if the flexibility in both the groin, the hamstring allow, then you're going to reach for that toe. It's okay if you don't get to that toe. Nice. And then you're going to round and roll it forwards. You're going to lean on the other side. Elbow this away. Point the toe for me now. Good. And then coming back to center, roll it forwards. Bring feet together. Extend the left leg out. And then we start off with our little flex. We're going to lift up and then head over. Trying to keep those shoulders open. And then maybe reach the toe. Good. Rolling it round and forwards to the other side. Inhale, point the toe now. And then round and forwards. We're going to take our blocks and we're going to start off in a low lunge. So to get to your lunge position, come to all fours. I'm going to bring my left leg forwards out in front of me. Knee first is stacked right on top of the ankle, and then have your blocks nearby if you need them. And we're going to just bring the right leg back, okay? But I'm going to keep my left knee in a vertical line with the ankle to begin with so that I feel like I'm getting a little bit more of that right hip flexor. All right, and then remember, your blocks have different levels. So depending on where you want to be, right now I want my hands either side of my leg for this low lunge. And then the blocks are really nice because you can kind of sink deep into that right hip, allow it to go towards the floor. Keep that chest nice and long. Few breaths here, in and out through the nose. And we're not forcing, we're just melting. We're letting the body melt into the position. So now from there, I am going to press my hips back. We're going to extend the left foot out in front of us. And we're going to try and keep our right hip stacked on top of the right knee. So now we're flexing the toes towards the nose. Same thing. So to get a little bit further and deeper in this stretch, I'm going to take my hands forwards. And when we think about this forward fold, it's not so much about, can I get my chest on the thigh? It's, can I pull my hip bone, my sit bone back into the socket, not my sit bone, my hip bone back into the socket more. And then walk your fingers forward so that you really feel like a nice deep hamstring stretch. All right, but we want to think of it with like a nice long spine, both hip bones facing the mat, so that one hip bone isn't higher than the other. Good. Couple more breaths here. Good stuff. So now then we're gonna take the left foot forwards again. This time with our lunge, we're going to allow the knee to come over the ankle. And then we're going to have the knee slightly in line with the armpit rather than with the center of the body so that we can come down for a lizard stretch. So lizard stretch is where now the forearms are inside of the leg. So if you're unable to get down that low, again, you can have your blocks nearby, but we're trying to get lower to the floor. So you can be here, that feels really nice and supported. You can even be up here, totally fine. But we're allowing that knee over the ankle so we get a little bit of an ankle stretch too. And if this is really easy for you, feel free to come even lower and pancake, trying to get that deep hip stretch through the right side. We get so tight from doing things, you know. Want to try and keep our hips happy. Okay, from there, very gentle, just going to press that left knee out. Allow the left foot to open up. Allow your chest to open up. If you can completely relax onto that right hip, great. If not, don't stress. Beautiful. Okay, bringing the knee back in. We're going to come up. And then this time, keeping the hands in the center still. We're going to press back, but I want you to press back. So now we're sitting onto the ankle. Try and keep that chest close and forwards to the mat. If it doesn't go close and forwards to the mat, you can be up here and you can be holding onto a block. You could even put your head onto a block so that you don't feel like you're straining. That was one of my favorite things to do in yoga class when I was pregnant. Just rest my head on a block. Good. Brilliant stuff. And then last one, now that we've opened up that hip a little, we're going to go for a front split. So when we do our front split, if you're like, the front split is not happening, Ziggy, have your blocks nearby at their different levels. And I just want you to focus on bringing that front foot as far forwards as you can so that both your hips are nice and stacked. So one hip isn't higher than the other. And then you're going to very gently keep walking that heel forwards, allowing the back foot to go lower. And then trying to sit with both hips pointing forwards rather than, I'm not doing it very well, sorry, rather than the back hip opening out too much. And just stay here for a few seconds. You may never reach the floor, and that's okay. The floor is not really the goal. The goal is to feel the hamstring and to feel the quad and the hip flexor. Beautiful stuff. Sitting on the floor, bring your back knee in. We're going to do everything again on the right. So we're going to start off in our lunge on the right side. Knee goes over the ankle. Oh, knee starts on top of the ankle. We're going to say hello to our hip flexor and do a nice low lunge. So hands are on the outside of the foot. And when we're here, we're focusing on drawing that left hip down toward the floor. Good. And then from there, I'm going to keep my left knee right under my left hip. And then I'm just going to walk this foot forwards a little bit. I'm going to flex my toes towards my nose. And then we are going to try and keep the chest nice and lifted forwards, looking towards the big toes, and then allowing the hands to go forward. Feeling the nice big stretch through the right hamstring this time. So again, if you need to be, you can be up here as long as you feel that stretch. That's the most important thing. And we don't want to force stretches. We want to melt into them. Good. And then this time, coming forwards now, bringing your blocks or hands to the inside of the foot. And then allowing the right knee to come over the right ankle for your lizard stretch. So lizard, you can come down onto your forearms if that feels nice. Good. Pressing the right knee out ever so slightly, allowing the right foot to come up, allowing that left hip to melt into the floor. Bringing it back in, stepping it back. This time keeping the chest close to the thigh, sitting back down onto the back leg. Feeling that stretch through the right hip and then through the left ankle if it feels tight. All right, grab your box. Let's do your split. So we're here. We're going to do your split and we're going to walk, walk, walk the right foot forwards, taking the left back, and then hands. Ideally, you want them about hip height. Okay. Next, we're going to practice sitting. Next, we're going to practice sitting on our quads, so getting sort of more of like a front side of the body stretch. So for this, you can sit on a couple of blocks to begin with. So I like doing it this way and just introducing the fact that we're going to be adding pressure onto the knees. And then if 2 blocks is too many, you can just do a single block where you are sitting on the ankles. Not many, as you know, some ankles don't like this. Some feet may go numb. That's okay. And then what you're going to do is you make space for the bum. And then we take away the block and your feet go on either side of the bum. We slightly internally rotate our knees and the feet and ankles are either side. We're going to sit like this for a few seconds. If the knee joints do not like this, please sit on a block. Pressing ourselves up and out. Crossing the legs, extending the heels forwards for Janusasana. So bad with the Sanskrit, I'm sorry. First, just flexing the feet as much as you can, so much so that your ankles and heels lift off of the floor. Nice tall back. You can also have hands pressing into the mat next to you, tucking the chin for staff pose, releasing, pointing the toes. Take the left heel to the inner sole of the left thigh. If the knee is lifting up a lot, again, you can rest underneath the block. We're going to fold forwards to begin with. So inhaling, lifting the arms up. Exhale, fold. One day grabbing the wrist over the foot. This should feel a little bit easier because we've just stretched with the lunge position and the split. I forgot the split on the right side. I'll film that at the end. Should just feel, but if it doesn't, feel free to have hands here, focusing more on that lifting. Here, here, and then walking it forwards, focusing more on that lifting. You can allow the forehead to be on the shin or towards the inner portion of the right thigh, towards the center of the mat, head touching the mat if needed. Keeping the head where it is, you're going to swoop the arms behind you, grabbing the opposite wrist this time. So if your left hand was trying to grab the right wrist, now you're going to grab the right wrist with the left hand, open the shoulders, and then inhale, come up, swapping sides, the left leg extends, right thigh towards the right heel of the foot towards the left thigh, inhale and up, grabbing the left wrist with the right hand if you can. Nice tall chest to begin with, and then fold. Taking the hands behind you, left now grabbing the right. Open the chest a little, inhale, coming up. Both feet together now. If you want to, you can sit on a block, which just elevates the hips and feels a little bit nicer. We're gonna flex both feet. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, slowly fold forwards and over. Inhale, taking it back up. Thanks very much, mummies. I hope your hamstrings and hips feel better after this